Hey guys, what's up? Good morning. I'm Yalek, and this is today's Boom Beach video. Today is going to be the War Factory, which is always one of my favorite things to do. By the way, I have realized I need to come up with some kind of a catchy intro. So if anybody has an idea for like a good catchphrase, it would be great. Help me out here. I was watching an old Red Arrow video, and he starts all of his videos, besides that goofy hat that he wears, which is hilarious, he also starts all of his videos by saying, "Let's boom this beach." And I was like, yeah, I need one of those. Anyway, so here's today's War Factory, and it's kind of a strange layout. First of all, you'll see the troops that I have loaded up. I'm a little disappointed because with the rifles being tribe boosted this week, I was hoping to use them a bunch more today, and unfortunately we do have some rockets and things to take out with Everspark, but then we have lasers to deal with. I'm going to try to incorporate them at some point, but I'm not exactly sure when that will be. So I've scouted this out a good bit, let you get a good peek at it there. There is no shield, so that's helpful, which means this could be soloed, but if you're going to solo right now, you're looking at 1 shock, 2 shocks, 3 shocks, 4 shocks, 5 shocks, 6 shocks, 7. Nope, you can get away on that one. So at least 6 shocks, and that's always a bit much for me. Zedmont does his lazy man's guide to the War Factory, and I'm doing my version, which is a less talented man's guide to the War Factory. So we're not going to try anything like 5 or 6 shocks. So we're going to remove some things. The place that they've given us to hit from, I suppose you could try making your own, but there's a handy spot right here next to core, which means we're going to want to remove a bunch of things over here. My first idea is obviously to remove some range towers here. That's Everspark. This should go. These 3 rockets back here do range. Now, so Everspark for all of that. So that's going to be at least 2 hits, maybe a third, probably a third. Additionally, we have these lasers back here, and they're a pain in the neck. Could try to avoid dealing with them entirely if we just do a shock there. Probably end up barding these down along the way. So a shock back here, that would leave us with a shock on core and a shock on those lasers. And that would leave just the Doom Cannon is the only splash damage tower attacking us in that spot later on. Doom Cannon we can deal with some critters, say, over here, and that'll distract the Doom Cannon plenty to attack this core with Zukas later on. So that is the plan. Now, complications. I've said we're using Everspark for a couple of things, and there are lasers on both sides. And lasers are a real problem for Everspark because they fire very quickly, and once they have seen you, they don't have a delay, but once they are alerted to your presence, you can't really resmoke because they will burn through Everspark. If you attempt to resmoke, they will burn through Everspark in a heartbeat, which means we can't do resmokes on these. Or if we do, they'd have to be out of the laser's range. So I could place her down here and resmoke. Or the other idea is I can just try a triple tap. I believe if I place myself just about here, I will be in range of the rocket and the 2 shocks, which means we're going to want to, we can flare her to this one, say, damage these 2, and hope that she gets all 3. Like I said, from that spot right there, I believe we're good. So that is going to be our first attempted hit. So we'll start by damaging the two further towers and nothing else. Going to drop Sparky under smoke, flare her to our spot. We can gap a tiny bit down here and a tiny bit there. Have lost delay on the things around, or the flare to the first rocket. We've thrown some critters out for a distraction, and we have gotten all three towers that we needed here. Now we've got extra GBE, which is always good. So we're going to go over to this side, and we'd be flaring the furthest rocket launcher, so we can damage those two. That way she can triple tap over there. No mines to speak of to worry about on that side, so we're going to start barding over here. The unfortunate thing about this plan is that it does leave me with this lone shock launcher up by core, and that's not perfect. Let's see. That is not. And we can do that too. That's not really perfect or ideal for me, because that means I have to walk Sparky up there. And GBE. Down there, the GBE is protected by a laser, so that's a no. We can deal with stuff over there later, and nothing is really cheap enough to be worth trying that tactic. So we'll get out of dodge. So the next hit, we're going to try triple tap over to the left. Same reason, there will be lasers in range. Lasers suck. I hate lasers. Yeah, so those are almost barded down. These have a pretty high health, which is why barding them down does not seem ideal. I am thinking I'm going to have to walk Sparky up there after on the next hit to get those shock launchers down. Then we probably land troops. And what I'm going to try to do is we'll land rifles over in this area, down on the lower right beach, and gather up some GBE, enough that we can do some smokes and a shock. And then we're going to try to get, before we get up into that laser's range, we're going to gather up and park somewhere up over here and try to take those out with troops. And if we're successful in that, then we'll probably end up retreating. That's the idea anyway. We'll see how it goes. So next hit, as I said, we're going to walk Everspark up here. There's lasers all over the place, so not going to try to gap any smokes on this. We've already damaged what we need to. I'm going to, rather than flare her directly to these towers, I'm going to place her. That way I know exactly where she's walking, or at least have a better idea where she's walking. And that way I know I'm in range of all of my towers, the three target towers here. So with that said, smoke, Sparky, flare, smokes, except not gapping because of the lasers. If the lasers see her, it's going to be an issue, because then she shouldn't be able to get off her triple tap. Throw the critters in there just for a distraction, because I really want to make this happen here. And got all three, and we're good to go there. Okay, we can, let's see, well, over here we can start with things like that. I'm going to damage all of these, probably quite heavily, so that they end up going down faster. This way the Azookas will target these guys first, the further lasers first, and then the flame. Don't think there's anything left to do. Same GBE situation as before. Nothing worth going for. So now with this hit, we're going to do one more run with Sparky and then try to get up GBE. The biggest deal here is going to be staying or gathering before the laser range. Sparky will be dead, don't have to worry about critters, but you see the lasers range down to that row of crates next to the lower boom cannon. So all of this GBE, sort of south of that, is for gathering, and then we're going to gather somewhere up over, about over here. We'll smoke up here and kill those towers. So, but first things first, we have to go get that rocket. In this case, I'll drop her over here and we just flare directly to the rocket because the walking lines are pretty straight, so it's a pretty good guess where she's going. Rocket, shock. Can gap a little bit here. Can't gap up here. And I believe she's going to stop. One more. It was too close to the edge and I wasn't going to risk it. So we waste a little bit of GB on that one, but no matter. Alright. And that will go down in a big ol' hurry. Actually, we're going to have a ton of GBE left. We could probably just do the Zuka run by itself and maybe BART out the lasers on the other side. A lot of GBE here. Maybe if we do this properly, we can actually take a run at the core. What the shock's going to be again? One shock on core, critters down bottom, one shock on the lasers. Let's go for it. Drop the rifles first. Rifles are strictly serving as cannon fodder here, and boom cannon fodder. No other purpose but. They are dealing a little bit increased or improved damage because of the tribe boost, but you know, main thing here is just to keep. I'm going to throw smoke back there. So we'll gather up, and I do not walk rifles very often at all, so this should be interesting. By walking, I mean smoking. Extra smoke back there. So what we're going to do when we get into our range, we'll just make sure everything is good and shock. Shock a touch early. That's why. And those guys should go down fairly quickly though. Go down, go down, go down, go down. Nope. Alright. Alright. Are we going to have enough? No, we're not. Well, this is going to be a disaster. So we'll just put the damage directly onto the core here. But at this point, the only things left to do, once those lasers got a look at me, that was it. So at this point, we can switch over to brick and full Zuka. The only thing left to do there is hit the core, I believe. But let's check that. Still, I mean, there shouldn't be, if this is done properly, there shouldn't be massive losses here. So that's not too bad, and I've lost one loadout of troops, but half of those troops were rifles, which are the cheapest troops you can have, so not a huge deal there. Maybe gathering over here. Let's see. You just walk straight up. I want to gather up over here, so we'll lose a few to the boom cannon. Probably drop brick a tiny bit behind so that she doesn't get shot. Walking up to our spot up there. We'll want to gather up right around. We got to stay away from the boom cannon. So we'll gather up here. This walking path is going to be a little messed up. And like I said, the 2 shocks and critters. Oh, did I? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Well, that sort of sucks. And by sort of sucks, I mean like, wow, majorly. Did not mean to do that at all. So, off you go. Never fails. I always say it, it never fails. Just before we get there, we're going to go like that, we're going to go like that. That should give us a nice layer of smoke. That unfortunately makes battle orders so much more expensive. So we've got to throw the critter box down here. We need a shock, and a shock will get those out early because lasers. And this, we missed one of the shocks, so we'll get a med kit going. About 2/3 losses on Zookas. So not as good as I would have liked, not as economical as it could have been, but still, all things considered, not overly expensive for a war factory. So didn't get to use, I was hoping to do an all rifle attack somewhere in there. Could have on, I guess, on that one, what was it, the other attack where we dropped troops. Could have. It just didn't seem like the best play. We'll get the extra damage from the Zookas. But hey, we still have these tri boosts for another week, correct? Do we? Yeah, 10 days. So maybe next week's War Factory we'll be able to use the rifles more to our advantage. So, anyway, War Factory is down. And a few hiccups, but you know, nothing traumatic. Anyway, hope you liked the video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. I'm Yalek. Hope you have a great day.